We continue to follow the latest on coronavirus here in our state and what it means for our community. Governor Steve Bullock says closures linked to COVID-19 are likely to remain in place for at least several more weeks. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has more on what the governor said earlier today in Helena.
On Friday, Governor Steve Bullock said it's as important as ever for Montanans to keep following the state's stay-at-home order.
I can't stress enough that every step that Montanans take now and in the following weeks will make all the difference in managing through this health crisis.
Bullock said about 10% of the people who have tested positive for COVID-19 in Montana so far work in healthcare.
So staying at home also means keeping our heroes on the front line as healthy as possible.
Currently, Governor Bullock's school closure and stay-at-home orders are both set to expire next Friday, April 10th. He said they haven't officially decided to extend them yet, but that people in Montana should expect they will be extended sometime next week.
I'd said to someone, I think like most Montanans, I'm over this. I wish the virus was, and the virus isn't over this.
Bullock also announced several steps aimed at making sure families in need have access to food at this time. He said the state will double its supply of food from the federal government to food banks, pantries, and other providers. They will also allow families receiving SNAP benefits to keep getting them without having to reapply during the emergency. Bullock said the changes will help more than 100,000 Montanans.
No Montanan should have to worry about putting food on the table for themselves and their families, especially during a global pandemic.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And here's a look at the latest from Montana's coronavirus task force. This is where we're getting our information, along with from county health leaders. These numbers updated late this afternoon. Montana now has 262 confirmed cases. There are 11 cases in Cascade County, and new tonight in our area, 1 case in Glacier County. More than 6,000 tests have been completed. There are now 12 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Toole County. 3 of Montana's 5 COVID-19 deaths have been in Toole County. The health department says that they're working closely with all healthcare entities in the county to address the continuing cases. A joint information center is being formed to provide a central point of contact that should be up and running on Monday. Now, back on March 26th, the Marias Medical Center in Shelby said one of the residents of the Marias Heritage Center tested positive for coronavirus. The next day, they said some of the positive COVID-19 tests are employees of that 38-apartment state licensed facility. The release also stated the situation exposed others to COVID-19, and they expected there could be more positive cases. Well, we've had a lot of questions from you, the viewers, asking why we don't release where each case is within each county. This is not up to us. This is decided by the health department. In a virtual Facebook Q&A session, the Cascade City County Health Department says the reason they aren't disclosing more details about coronavirus cases, including the cities in which they originate, is to protect the patient's right to privacy. Quote, we don't tell you the city that they live in because in Montana we have a lot of smaller cities. If we tell you there's a case in a certain city, then it's possible the community could identify the patient, end quote. Well, today, the Montana National Guard started to screen people at airports and rail stations all across the state under an order from Governor Bullock. 73 soldiers and airmen were activated to screen travelers. The voluntary screening includes a temperature check and a couple of questions. Great Falls International Airport says they believe this is what they need to do right now.
Well, I think, at all levels, we're seeing extraordinary measures being taken to stop the virus. I can't really say the effectiveness of the health screenings, but I think it's not inconsistent with many of the things we're being asked to do right now to try and stop this illness.
Now, again, you do have the right to not be tested. The Guard is set to be at every incoming flight until further notice. The governor is also asking people to self-quarantine for 14 days when arriving in Montana from another state or country. This applies both to Montana residents and non-residents alike. The Great Falls Development Authority is offering some special assistance to local businesses that might be struggling during this coronavirus outbreak. Development Authority CEO Brett Doney said that the first pillar of helping businesses is simply providing accurate information. They've also held webinars and one-on-one advising sessions for businesses that need specific help for their situations. Doney said that the survival of many local businesses during this pandemic will depend on how well they can adapt their business strategy on the fly.
It's really pivoting their business strategy. We're using the term hibernation. Some businesses are continuing to go full throttle. Food processing is going gangbusters. Other businesses are going to have to go into hibernation. And our goal is to help businesses build a protective cocoon around themselves.
You can visit our website to see a full list of resources that the Great Falls Development Authority is currently offering. Well, today's weather brought in quite a few changes, both good and bad. Brandon, we had to deal with a few snowflakes, but overall temperatures weren't nearly as cold.
Yeah, a big warm up compared to yesterday. Yesterday was really, really cold for this time of year. Today, still a little on the cool side, but much better. Let's take a look at yesterday's stats to start things off. 19 only the high temperature. The low temperature was 8. Those are both unusually cold for this time of year. Not record cold, but fairly close, and definitely dealing with a big improvement today. 44 degrees, the high temperature in Great Falls. Had a little bit of sunshine to help us out. It was a very cold start once again, though. Fell all the way down to 4 degrees last night, so it was a chilly start, but it ended up being a fairly nice day, except for those snow showers that were moving through, and they really didn't do too much for us. In fact, we really didn't measure any precipitation whatsoever here in Great Falls, but we definitely had a couple flakes falling from the sky. So far for April, we were at over 2 inches from what fell early on April 1st, and for the season, 93.5, which is still a record at this time. And at this time, we are still tracking some scattered snow showers across the area. We expect those to continue into the evening and then actually clear up nicely tomorrow. And of course, we'll have more on that coming up later.
All right, thanks, Brandon. We'll see you in a bit. For the majority of people, this COVID-19 pandemic is the first large-scale health crisis of their lifetime. But it's not the first for Montana. MTN's Tom Wiley looked into the similarities and differences between the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic and the spread of the coronavirus here in 2020 and what might come next.
In late 1918, World War I was coming to an end, but a new danger was emerging. Pierce Mullen, a retired history professor at Montana State who's published several articles on the scientific and medical history of Montana, explains.
Because we were at war, we didn't really know very much about the disease, and we didn't really understand the importance of segregating the military population.
It's unclear exactly where the 1918 virus originated, but it's commonly called the Spanish flu because media attention picked up after it passed through Spain, which was neutral during World War I and didn't practice information censorship. The first American cases were found in military camps and cities in the Midwest and quickly spread to the rest of the country, killing nearly 500,000 Americans and some 5,000 Montanans. One of the key differences between the coronavirus and the Spanish influenza is who it affects. While COVID-19 primarily puts seniors and immunocompromised people at risk, the Spanish flu targeted young, healthy males, which meant Montana was hit hard.
And the reason for that was that men could absorb a much greater infective load. And when they got into the lungs, they triggered what is now called a cytokine storm. In other words, your very powerful immune system over-mobilized. A healthy man would go to work at 7:30 in the morning and be dead by 5:30 in the afternoon.
With a lack of global communication and several countries practicing wartime censorship, there were almost no warnings for the 1918 pandemic. By the time restrictions were in place, it was almost too late.
Mom and pop grocery stores were the staple of every neighborhood. They absolutely refused to close, not only because they would lose their income, but the neighborhood was utterly dependent on them. They didn't have Costco, they didn't have Target, they didn't have Albertsons or Safeway. And there was horrendous resentment against being closed. And this was all done at the local level. The state didn't close you down, your local mayor and city council did.
The fear in 2020 is that the COVID-19 pandemic will overwhelm the American medical system. Well, that was a reality in 1918 with much less advanced healthcare facilities.
There were not the major big hospitals that you and I are familiar with. These were often reused houses, 2 or 3 story houses. So what we call hospitals and what they called hospitals were really quite different.
Ultimately, Montana, the country, and the world emerged from the 1918 pandemic. Mullen believes recovery in the present day will be similar.
It's uncomfortable. It's economically devastating. It's going to take an enormous amount of work to restore these small, fragile businesses. And you really need to make a joint effort to have everybody contribute to the greater good.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
When the 10 o'clock news continues, coronavirus and its implications has changed just about everything that we've come to know as normal, including what it looks like to graduate. Coming up next, how students at the University of Montana are being affected.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
In-person commencement ceremonies for the University of Montana have been canceled due to COVID-19. University of Montana President Seth Bodner said UM is developing options to help graduates and their families celebrate now and later in Grizzly style. Graduates will be surveyed for their input and ideas about how to make up for missing this treasured rite of passage. Diplomas will be mailed to the address on each student's graduation application. And since the cancellation of the in-person graduation, some UM seniors are faced with uncertainty of how the end of their years at the university will pan out. MTN's Jordan Johnson spoke with one UM senior on how she's staying positive.
I've kind of come to the conclusion myself that it's probably not going to be a normal senior year graduation that most people are used to getting.
Tessa Nato is a University of Montana senior studying journalism. The university administration has made decisions to protect the students and staff of UM from the spread of COVID-19, such as moving all classes to remote instruction and recently cancel in-person graduation. Nato has seen this as an opportunity to look back on her 4 years at UM.
Being able to just enjoy every second and really be thankful for that versus like just having to rush through my senior year. I'm actually being grateful to be able to look back on the year I've had and the 4 years that I've had.
Despite all the different changes to her senior year, Nato is remaining positive.
I think something that has helped is I just wake up every day and try to remember like 5 things that I'm thankful for. And that has really helped change my mindset of, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, but kind of just focus on what I do have.
Denise Dowling, the director of the School of Journalism at UM, says that these times are a great learning experience for students.
I think this is going to prove so valuable to them as they get out into the working world full time and launch their journalism careers.
Dowling says that not only are students remaining positive, so are the professors.
But the professors are in great spirits. They say that the students are engaged and understanding and resilient, and so we're moving forward.
Nato says experiencing a pandemic like COVID-19 will be a great story to tell in the future.
It's going to be another story to tell my kids or whoever one day.
Dowling is proud of the way that students have remained motivated in these challenging times and hopes to find ways to commemorate the seniors in the journalism program. In Missoula, Jordan Johnson, MTN News.
And the School of Journalism did have to cancel their trip to Northern Ireland to study the impacts of Brexit, but they hope to reschedule in May. Well, every year, Special Olympics athletes prepare for the highly anticipated Summer Games. But since sports training has been canceled due to social distancing, Summer Games and training will look a little bit different this year. In order to help maintain the athletes' physical and social health, Special Olympics Montana is encouraging Special Olympians to use virtual training sessions to connect with their fellow teammates and keep up with their healthy habits. As participants complete virtual training, they'll gear up for the Summer Games later this year that will focus on non-competitive sports. The athletes can practice from the comfort of their homes. CEO of Special Olympics Montana, Rhonda McCarty, explains how these training sessions are an important tool to help keep Special Olympians connected.
We happen to work with a population who is already often isolated in normal life. And now with our stay-at-home measures, that's even more than ever. So we really are striving to stay connected.
And the sessions aren't just for those who are involved with Special Olympics. They are streamed on Facebook every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m.
Well, we're tracking some sunshine for tomorrow. A nice warm up actually by Sunday. We'll have the forecast coming up.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
Temperatures were a little bit warmer, actually quite a bit warmer today. Not warmer than average, but warmer than they have been for the past couple of days. Hit 44 in Great Falls, 46 in Jordan. Still some 30s across the state, though, so we haven't completely broken away from the cold air, but at least we all made it above freezing today. Current temperatures, not terrible. 31 in Glasgow, 32 in Havre, 27, a little chillier there in Lewistown, and definitely cooler in Cutbank. They're at 24 degrees right now. A little bit of clearing off to the east, but even now some snow showers starting to creep into eastern Montana. Most of the moisture, though, is still off to the west and flowing in, and we're actually starting to see a couple of heavier, steadier bands developing here. You can see through Pend Oreille County, kind of right over I-15, drifting toward the Conrad area. We've got a little bit of a heavier snow band. Again, really not expecting significant accumulating snow from that, probably just a trace or so from that snow moving in. Going to continue to see that through the evening and afternoon, the overnight hours tonight as we head into tomorrow morning, mainly off to the northeast by about 8 a.m. here. Actually, some of us are getting into some sunshine, and that's going to be the trend through the afternoon. More sunshine than anything else. Still a couple of pop-up showers, mainly off to the east, northeast Montana. Probably the best chance of seeing one or two of those develop. We do see our clouds increase as we head into tomorrow evening, though, and then by early Sunday, another little wave of moisture, mainly along and west of the Divide and then kind of along the Rocky Mountain front, but even places like Great Falls could see a flurry or two early in the day on Sunday, right around sunrise. Through the day, the clouds are going to be lifting, probably not quite as quickly as this model is showing. I'm still expecting mostly cloudy skies for Sunday, but we are going to see a nice warm-up with that cloud cover. So let's talk temperatures then. 22 overnight for Fort Benton, 23 for Geyser, 20 in Chester, 18 in Cutbank, 24 in Malta, and 25 in Jordan. Through the day tomorrow, we get a nice warm-up, just like today. Pretty much looking at almost identical temperature-wise. We're back above freezing by the time we get to noon, mid to upper 30s by 2 p.m., and then we jump into the 40s by the afternoon hours, and I think we're going to get up to about 43, so very close to what we saw today for the temperature on Saturday here in Great Falls. 42 in Fort Benton, 37 in Chester, 35 in Cutbank, and 43 for the high temperature in Glasgow. But as we said, we've got warmer air that's going to be heading our way for Sunday. See what that does to our temperatures. Big increase. 57 for Jordan, 49 for Glasgow, 49 for Wolf Point, 42 in Chester, 52 in Great Falls, 51 in Lewistown, and the high temperature of 47 in Geyser. So everybody at least in the 40s, some of us warming up as much as the 50s. So a nice increase for our Sunday. Wind's not a huge factor through the weekend. Saturday here, 12:30 p.m., so just after noon, seeing some wind gusts 10 to 20 miles per hour. You see most of that wind is coming out of the west, blowing west. So that's what we're dealing with for Saturday. The change comes on Sunday. We don't really see the winds pick up in strength for most of us. Still 10 to 20 miles per hour with a couple of breezier spots off to the east. But in general, we see more of a south wind moving in, and that's what's bringing in that warmer air. And that's why we see that nice warm up as we head into Sunday and even beyond Sunday, as we'll see now with the 7-day forecast. Mostly sunny, 43 degrees for us on Saturday, up into the 50s already on Sunday, 52, and then we stay there for Monday, 58 degrees. So another increase in our temperatures for Monday, partly cloudy skies and a high temperature of 58 degrees. Lots of sunshine for us on Tuesday, 60 degrees, the high temperature there. A little bit cooler on Wednesday with a high of 50, sunny and warm for Thursday, up into the 60s again. And then we do get a little cooler with a chance for some showers on Friday. Shannon?
All right, thanks, Brandon. As unemployment numbers continue to skyrocket due to coronavirus, some experts are weighing in. Hear what they have to say about navigating the challenges.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. Unemployment claims are pouring in. It's putting a strain on systems people use to file claims. Alicia Nieves asking experts how to navigate the process.
At the onset of the coronavirus outbreak in the U.S., the number of people who were filing unemployment was just about 280,000. A week later, that number jumped to more than 3 million. And in the latest report, we are at 6.6 million people filing for unemployment now.
For many years, unemployment systems have been underfunded and understaffed. And so a lot of places just simply aren't prepared for this kind of demand on their services.
Kevin DeLee-Ben is a legal aid attorney in Arkansas. He has been helping people who are struggling to get on unemployment because the state system, like many others, is simply overwhelmed.
Even under the best of times, unemployment is not always an easy process. It can take a few weeks to get all the paperwork in and to get processed and to actually get some money into your hands. Now it's just a situation that's pretty dire.
To help more people who are getting errors when processing a claim online or struggling to get a hold of their unemployment department over the phone, Daliban is sharing the advice he's giving to clients.
In the short term, the best advice is just persist, persist, persist. In some states, the unemployment offices are still open to people coming in person. Take all your usual precautions, but if you can, it might be better to go in person.
Daliban also recommends documenting every attempt you make to apply online, in person, or over the phone. It may help you get backdated unemployment benefits. Once you get through, if you get denied, seek out help from your local legal aid office. They will provide free help and guidance. Now, Congress has recently made an attempt to help with some of the issues around filing for unemployment when it passed its latest stimulus package.
Some of the recent federal law changes are supposed to be providing some administrative funds to states to be able to beef up their ability to process applications.
If there is some good news out of the unemployment process this week, it's this.
For anybody who's eligible for unemployment, either under the normal program or under the new programs, they'll get a $600 per week supplement to their benefit level.
That was also part of Congress's most recent stimulus package. It's expected to take effect automatically and immediately, and the additional $600 is promised to those who need it until July 31st. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
And stay with us. We'll have a final look at your weekend forecast right after this.
Welcome back. Weekend forecast actually not looking too bad for us. Let's take a look at Saturday and Sunday here. 43 degrees, so still a little cooler than average for us on Saturday. Good amount of sunshine, though, definitely more so than what we saw today. Warmer on Sunday, right up to average at 52, and a little bit more cloud cover.
Well, finally, we'll end the week with some cute animal footage because that's a good way to end Friday, right? As the Vienna Zoo remains shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic, polar bear cub Finja is prospering. Born on November 9th of 2019, Finja already weighs about 30 kilograms and is starting to lose her milk teeth. I'm guessing that means baby teeth in polar bear speak. They're unconcerned about the lack of visitors. She's intent on just playing with their toy, a yellow floating ball there. Looks like she's having fun, doesn't care.
Doesn't care at all.
I like it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they weren't born with like the bright white fur.
Yeah. There you go.
We learned something today.
We learned lots of things.
That's
all
true.
Right. Thanks for joining us. Have a nice weekend.